Church. It's Tuesday morning and we want to move forward into the book of Psalms. A few Psalms, those in between we've kind of covered a lot of the circumstances, but we want to move to Psalm 61. So Psalm 61 is where we're going to be at. And this is another Psalm of David, probably written, we believe, as David is away from Jerusalem, but he's ready to come back to Jerusalem. So probably it's after the battle with Absalom and Absalom's army, and David is coming back to retake the throne. Now, when David comes back, he probably is wondering whether or not the nation is going to receive him back. Are the people going to be angry with him because his army has destroyed Absalom, who was very popular with many of the younger people particularly, but a lot of the people loved Absalom. And then there were those who died in war, both on David's side of things, there were not that many that died from his army, but David's army had slaughtered many Israelites. And so a lot of the families of those who people were slain. And David's going to come back and he's wondering, is there going to be more battles? Is the throne going to be overtaken by someone else, and he's going to have to go to fight again? And will his people hate him? Will his people follow after him? It's just been a terrible time, and David recognizes the frigidity of the situation. Now, read with me as chapter 61 as David, first of all, he cries out for God's protection and gives thanks to God for what God has done. Hear my cry, O God. Attend to my prayer. From the end of the earth I will cry to you. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. David always depended upon God. He was thankful for Joab and his army and others that were able to bring about victory, but he always recognized that it was God that always was his rock, his shelter. Verse 3, for you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from my enemy. I will abide in your tabernacle forever. I will trust in the shelter of your wings. And so he's still trusting God and recognizing those things that are before him he's going to have to deal with. And then verse 5, for you, O God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. For you have prolonged the king's life, his years, as many generations. And David recognized that this could have been a time when God could have taken his life. God owed David nothing. God had been so good to David, given him so many things. David had faltered and failed in some ways. And now God has, in his old age, restored him back to his kingdom. Verse 7, he shall abide before God forever. O prepare mercy and truth, which may preserve him. So I will sing praise to your name forever, that I may daily perform my vows. And we're not sure all the vows that David made to God. I'm sure it was that, God, I have sinned against you, and God, if you restore me, I'll never do these things again. God, I'll always be faithful. I don't know what those vows were, but don't all of us do those things? We get out there in life and we feel like that life is going well, and then we make mistakes and we do things, we sin against God, our life becomes very tenuous, then we feel like we don't have a hold on it any longer, then we pray to God and it doesn't seem like he's hearing, and eventually God just kind of restores us and we see the hand of God move and victory begins to come again, and we make those vows, don't we? God, I will never do those things again. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to serve you as faithfully again. I'm going to use my time more wisely. And we need to fulfill those vows. Has God brought you through something recently? I mean, has there been a sickness? Has there been a financial crisis? Has there been family crises or relationships that God has delivered you and you didn't think it was going to work out, but it finally did work out, and now things seem to be getting settled back in? Well, listen, keep the vows that you promised. God, if you get me through this, I'll serve you better. I'll do more devotion. I'll be a better witness. Keep those vows because God expects us to. When we make a promise to God, we need to keep it just as surely as God, when he makes a promise to us, always keeps his vows. Let's be a people of integrity. Keep our word. When we make it to God or to another human being, keep our word. Let's pray together. Father, we thank you for this opportunity again to look to the word and see how faithful you truly are. Even when we're faithless, even when we're afraid, and even when it's our own fault that our lives are crashing in on us, you're just always faithful. We want you to know, Father, that we strive and we desire to keep the vows that we've made to you. Help us to do that. In Jesus' name, amen.